I know, right? Ooh, look at Tim using a virtual background.
Yeah.
I know. I've got a terrible office set up for this, so it looks horrid. So I
That's
thought
really cool. I've never seen that where you put it. That's what I need, because I was saying that my office is such a mess here, my home office, that I didn't want to put on my video.
so if you go down at the bottom left where it has the video thing,
Uh-huh.
there's a little up arrow. If you click on that, it'll say choose a virtual background, and then you can choose what you want from among your pictures.
Oh, okay. I'll try that next time.
This is one of the benefits of having to work in a virtual environment. You learn these things all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I saw somebody posted online that they were teaching with Hogwarts Castle and Harry Potter in their background.
It is scary what's going on. Very scary.
There were about half a dozen people that said that they were going to attend today, but with everything going on, that we may not have as large a crowd as we've had the last couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you still record these, don't you?
Yes, I do.
So we can go over things and they can review it at their own time.
Exactly.
Right.
And just so you know, it's about 2:02. So Kristen and Anaru, whenever you want to get started, I'll just let you take it from there. Or Deborah, if you want to get started.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if
guess
Deborah had something to
Yeah, well, I
start.
think we were talking before if there were more people who wanted to talk, and maybe, one thing, and I was going to talk to you about it, Tim. We may want to schedule another Ask NPSMA for a community-wide discussion.
Yeah.
After. But okay, so why don't we? Okay. All right, now we're back. Yep. Okay, there we go. Why don't we get started and talk about the virtual grad fair? So take it away.
So I actually have some slides to share. Can I take over sharing the screen, Jeannie?
You can. Hold on just one second. You should get a note to make you co-host.
Yep.
Okay, just accept that, and then you can take over. On the toolbar, it'll say new share, and you just can click down and decide what you want to share.
Yep, I think I got it.
Great.
Let's see if it works.
Here we go.
Okay, so everybody should be seeing virtually the same thing that Jeannie just had up, the announcement of the graduate virtual fair that we are organizing to be held April 17th. So I'm going to start off and just talk generally about, the virtual fair platform, what it is, what the benefits are, pricing, go over some of the results from the event that we held last October, and then talk about tips on promoting and marketing the event to participants. So I really think that this is quite timely, given the current events, to be discussing a virtual fair. Now that this is the way everything is moving, to mitigate the spread of the virus. So we're right on trend, I guess, with the move to virtual. So first of all, what is a virtual graduate fair? Right, it's just like an on-campus open house that students or prospective students would attend to learn more about your programs. Only the visit now is virtual, done on the online space, and they can visit and learn about multiple programs at once. The event is free, to prospective students, and they get the opportunity to interact with admissions personnel, faculty, and possibly even alums. Depends on who from your institution is going to participate in the virtual fair. So as I said, it's all online, just like our Ask NPSMA sessions are done via Zoom. But the platform that we're using, Career Eco, is going to handle all of the technical side of the virtual meeting. So let me go over that platform first of all. So Career Eco refers to such an event as a cloud recruiting event. And if you go to the event registration page at this URL, the careereco.com/join/PSM, there's a link actually to a webinar that provides a more detailed demonstration of the platform than I'm going to give right now. But generally the setup is that institutions each create their own landing page that interested prospective students visit leading up to and then during the day of the event. So here's just an example of the landing page for my institution, St. Mary's College. And so the landing page contains info about the degree programs that are offered at the institution so that prospective students can do some research ahead of time. And then during the event, the landing page also has links to chat rooms where admissions folks or faculty can schedule windows of time that they'll be available to talk to prospective students while attending the virtual fair. And so just a note, if your institution has multiple programs, you can actually opt to set up individual or separate chat rooms for each of those programs, though that's not required for every institution to do. So I have a screenshot of my institution here, and then I also just put up the landing page for the University of Utah, just to give you an idea of what some of the profile pages for institutions look like. And you can also see even more examples if you go to that registration page and click on the link down at the bottom for future students. That actually will take you to a list of all of the institutions that are registered and participating in the fair. So prospective students can see, ahead of time what institutions will be there, so they can sort of decide what programs they might be interested in, do a little research ahead of time before the event starts. But for programmers or organizers looking to recruit students, you can also go ahead and look at that list. This is a screenshot actually of the list for the event that we had in October of last year. And so you can see, we had just the first 5 schools that were registered here. But so ahead of the event, you can actually go and look at this and then click on one of those institution names, and then it takes you to their profile page, so you can get ideas of what institutions are including on those landing pages. But if we go back to Utah's profile page, you can see that at this point, leading up to the event, prospective students have an option to actually, yeah, there's my clicker. They can actually click a box on the profile page and then indicate to the institution that they're interested in learning more ahead of time. And they can, click on the chat times link here to see, when an individual is going to be available to talk to from the University of Utah. And each institution has complete control over what they put on their profile page. So the banner at the top, and then any of the content on the page itself, which can include pictures. It can also include video content. The Career Eco staff will help with the creation the technical aspect of the creation for these profile pages. They just need the content. They can't create the content necessarily, but they can definitely help in putting it together. I didn't participate in the creation of the page for St. Mary's, but I hear it's a relatively easy interface to work with. And then also note that Career Eco staff will provide training to help learn how to navigate and interact with the platform on the day of the event. And there's additional features besides just having a chat room that an institution can opt to use. And that leads to my discussion of the benefits to participating in a virtual event. So this is the list that Career Eco actually gives on the registration page. And I just wanted to highlight the third point that they make, which I think is perhaps the most valuable benefit to participating in such an event. And that is that every institution that participates in the event receives access to all the registered prospective students' contact information, not just the ones that indicated interest in their program or may have visited with them during the event. So this allows institutions to do additional follow-up recruiting efforts following the event to all of the individuals that attended, even if they didn't specifically seek out their institution. The cost to register, or the cost to participate and register, is $295 if you do it before the early registration deadline, which is March 27th, next Friday. If you register after that, the price goes up $100. You have to be a PSM affiliated program in order to participate in our PSM graduate fair. And so this is one of the member benefits of affiliating a program. And you can see what the pricing includes. And so you can see some of the optional features here, which again, they're optional. So you can, there's actually a tool in the platform provided by Career Eco that allows you to conduct video interviews with prospective students during the event. Or even conduct a presentation or a webinar during the event, which could possibly be presentation by a faculty member or maybe a current student or even an alum. So last year we held the first of these events on October 18th. We had 20 institutions that actually participate from all over the country. And we had 79 prospective students from all over the world participate. So 24 states were represented, and these 11 countries that I have listed here, individuals from all of those places participated. Michigan, New York, and Maryland actually had the highest number of prospective students participate, and we'll talk about why in a minute. But here are the top fields of a study that prospective students listed as being interested in. Not surprisingly, to me at least, biology and medical related programs, as well as computer science or data science programs, are among the top and really well represented in this list. So we're hoping for the event this April that the level of student participation is higher than we had in October. And perhaps this practice of social distancing is possibly going to, lend to that that goal of increasing participation. Perhaps by mid-April, folks are going to be craving contact as they are quarantined and isolated in their respective homes. But the success and level of participation depends on the marketing that's done by Career Eco, but also the marketing that's done by the institutions that are participating in the event. So the more institutions that participate, the more efforts toward promotion are taking place, and so it's a win-win for everybody. So specifically, what Career Eco does to market the event is they send promotional materials to a large list of individuals interested in STEM or somehow related to STEM. So almost 100,000 individuals they have on a contact list. So this is including past participants in any STEM related virtual fairs hosted by Career Eco. But it also includes contacts on purchased name lists, such as GRE lists. So many institutions themselves are purchasing GRE lists or doing other name buys. But what Career Eco adds is they also have contacts in career services or advisor offices at colleges and universities across the country that they'll market the event to. So hopefully at those other undergraduate institutions, for instance, more students are being notified that this event is taking place. But as I said, the promotion also needs to be done by the institutions that are involved in the event. So just a few tips I have on the best ways to do that. First of all, put the marketing materials that Career Eco provides when you register onto your program website, onto any social media accounts that your program has. Second, get faculty involved in the promotion of the event. Promote it to their own students, promote it to their colleagues at other institutions that are teaching undergraduates that may be interested in our PSM programs. Get alums involved. Get any career services or admissions personnel or advisors at your own institution to help spread the word about the event. And then also maybe hit up some community or industry contacts that are familiar with your PSM program to promote the event to any prospective students that they think may be interested in your program. And then the final tip is any students that you know of that are on your radar about potentially being interested in applying to your program, send them emails or some announcement about the event coming up in April. And in fact, that was actually one of the things that led to Michigan having the highest number of participants in the October fair, which leads nicely into the next presenter in this session and really wraps up my comments. So I'm gonna turn it over to Anirudh now to talk about what his experience was with the fair last October at Grand Valley State University in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So I'm gonna stop sharing my slides and hand it over to Anirudh.
So thanks, Kristen. I think you did a pretty good job putting all the components together, right from the page, the Career Eco platform. I'll talk something about a few specifics that I probably did, me and my GA worked on, and that probably helped us to kind of get a few folks looking at our Career Eco webpage. One of the key things that you already mentioned was social media. So we went out on all PSM social media. I mean, PSM GVSU social media, Facebook, Insta, Twitter. And one other thing that we did was we did a small 10-second teaser that kind of helped to promote something that is short and sweet, and then that kind of leads students to our Career Eco page. So I think that is one thing that worked for us. You could also work with your institutional marketing folks and get different kinds of email lists that they can help you with. For example, there are students who go onto your program webpage and request for information, or who even stop by your .edu website. You can get all of that data from your IT or institutional marketing, so that will be helpful as well. One of the lists that we used was McNair Scholars list. I think that could be available to other institutions as well. The other important thing that was mentioned by a student was, and that's one of the reasons that he thought of coming to the virtual fair, was he really wanted to talk to faculty. And on my program description on Career Eco, I had mentioned that, well, you're gonna have the chance to talk to faculty, program directors, the associate dean, the program coordinator. So usually students feel that in these type of events, they would, probably be talking to someone from admissions who probably doesn't have the technical aspects of what they are looking into. So putting that information or highlighting that they would get an opportunity to directly talk with faculty and program directors made a difference too. The other thing that we did was we invited students to come check us out on social media, and we followed up with those participants who kind of liked our page or stopped by, commented, whatever. So we made an effort to follow up with them, whether it's an email or through just replying through the chat message on our social media. The next thing that I would suggest would be to follow up with students. So we have this extensive list that Career Eco gave us, or is available to all the schools. So you could contact them after the event as well. Someone may not be able to join in at that particular time, or didn't get a chance to, or was interested in some other program, but it doesn't hurt to get back to them and say, hey, you were interested, you stopped by our page, is there anything I can provide you information for? So that was helpful as well. And that kind of leads me to our success story, or a partial success story, where one of a international students who is from Ghana stopped by or came into our chat room, and then one of our program directors moved him to a separate video chat, and then that led him to apply to one of our health informatics and bioinformatics program, and we did accept him into the program, and we're looking forward to have him this fall. So I think this communication about reaching them back even afterwards, or before the event, as you talked about, Kristen, plays an important role. The last second thing that I would want to stress would be when you go onto social media, try to post it as, or send it out as an event as well, because Gen Zs, they like to go for events. So rather than just putting it as just a poster or a picture on Instagram or Facebook, creating an event makes it a little bit more hype about what we are trying to do. And the other thing that I'm going to try this time is to post the virtual event into groups which undergrads are a part of. So looking at your own institution for getting students to apply to the PSM program. So various departments have their own social media groups or websites. I'm in process of talking with them as well, if they could allow me to post this message on their social media and or websites would also be helpful. Yeah. And then one last thing was, I would also recommend making Eventbrite. As I said, somehow I do not know how the psychology works, but Eventbrite somehow works for me as well when I do various PSM events within different departments. So make Eventbrite event as well, and then float it around. Someone from your city, town, or whatever might be interested as well. Because Eventbrite then again promotes your event into their database of what people around are looking for. I hope that was helpful.
Can I just ask a follow-up question
Yeah,
about
sure.
what does it mean? I'm, I guess, social media illiterate. What does it mean to create an event as opposed to just posting a image?
So, for example, on Facebook, you could create an event, right? So, like Career Eco, PSM GVSU on Career Eco Virtual Fair, the time you would just leave the place blank or put in the the hashtag there or the website link there.
I see. And if you do that on social media, do they RSVP, or is it just it's just a different format of the posting?
No, there are two things. There are two things to it. Some of them RSVP'd, and you get to know their interest when they say they're going or interested or not going. So I had a few which said interested, and a couple of them said going. The same with Eventbrite. Probably the tickets they generate some kind of tickets, but they're always free. So they could keep the tickets, and that's again a impetus, because once they save the ticket onto their email, Gmail does the reminder for us. That will remind them that hey, you have an event coming up. So I just try to play around with these tools that are already there.
That's nice. Those are really good suggestions.
I hope those will be beneficial to this upcoming fair as well. Yeah, and I plan to look for more ways now that our world is completely online.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. So I heard that they're going to give us different chat rooms now.
Yes.
So that's nice, because at one point we had quite a few number of people in there. And then would it be possible to make a separate link for our group?
So I have asked that question a couple of times, and I'm realizing now that I still have not ever received an answer to that. Okay. So I will follow up yet again and see if I can get a final answer on that.
Sure. That'll be great.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else that you would like me to talk about, or?
So I'm going to jump in real quick. I know I'm preaching to the choir, but for an investment of about $300 and a few hours of time, we may have just pulled in about $15,000 worth of tuition. So that's a benefit to our programs.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah, thanks, Tim.
Yeah, it's worth it even if you get one student.
I guess the key is, do we know how many students have signed up, or how many do they expect, if it's more than 97, especially now? So and is the company doing another push, because they really need to do another push now?
Yeah. So I don't know if there's a way that I can see that without reaching out to the company, which I haven't done. I believe they, they have ongoing marketing efforts leading up to the event. And I would imagine that after the early bird registration deadline. So after next March 27th, maybe they'll start ramping up even more promotion, because the list of registered institutions will be more or less complete. I think most institutions are probably going to try and get in before March 27th so they can get the lower rate. But so I'll follow up with Career Eco on that and see if there's any way to, gauge how many prospective students have registered at this point.
Right. No, and hopefully I think at NPSMA we'll do another push to make sure that our PSM programs will sign up and push this. But please do call the company, because now's the time. I mean, not now, but maybe in 2 weeks' time, you want to really set it out, and people will be home doing nothing.
Right.
Let's have them attend.
Absolutely. Yeah. So right. I will definitely reach out and follow up with Career Eco to see exactly what their timeline as far as their marketing campaign of the event is.
Right. Any other questions that folks have, or anything in general anyone wants? We have a small group here. Anyone wants to share?
So one of the things that my students told me when I was teaching online yesterday was they were bored being at home or wherever they were. So they were looking for more human interaction. And I kind of did a synchronous class yesterday, and they were very happy that they got to talk to someone else apart from their family or whatever. So I think this could be a good time that Career Eco could push the event, that way students would get enrolled into the program for the event. So that's another push.
Yes, everything's virtual, so virtual, that would be good. And we actually planned this before all of this. we have to somehow say that. This was not like last minute that we're going on, as a virtual fair. All right. Well, if there's no other comments or anything else, I guess, thank you very much for the presentation. It was really great. I hope that we can really push the registration, so a lot of programs go, and please maybe be in touch with Jeannie to make sure we can send out those emails again, and certainly with Career Eco. Tim, is there anything you want to add?
Not specifically, no. But I do agree, Deborah, we will get emails out to program directors pointing out the fact that they're not going to meet anybody in person, so they may as well meet them online. And if they do this in the next 10 days, they'll get the cheaper rate. Okay.
I'm not sure if you know, but when you appear on the background, you are sort of blue.
I know. I'm going to next call in half an hour, Deborah, I'm going to get rid of the background because it doesn't really complement my complexion enough, so I'm going to have to work on it.
You look like a Star Wars character that's projecting themselves.
Exactly. I was just thinking of the same.
Like a little we won't go Sith Lord, but a Star Wars character projecting themselves. We'll just say that.
Absolutely, Jeannie.
Yep, I didn't want to say it, but
she looked just like Princess Leia because she had the space behind her and she buns back there, so it was pretty funny.
Okay. All right. Well, be safe, everyone. Have a great day, and I guess we'll all be in touch. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thanks, Deborah. Thanks, Kristen. Thanks, Heather.